Warm welcome to everybody on this webinar. The topic we are discussing today is very important for Finland and very hotly, very much debated here. As many of you probably know, Finland is among the most rapidly aging countries in Europe and the whole world. For instance, if we look at the proportion of people aged above 65 years, we have the highest scores for Northern Europe and we rank 4th globally. Even more surprisingly, we are also now currently ranked among the world's low fertility countries. From 2010 to 2019, every year we saw fewer and fewer babies born in Finland. Fortunately, for the time being, currently, fertility rates have stopped falling now, and we are beginning to see maybe a moderate increase in fertility rates, but let's see what happens. At the same time that we are experiencing this fall in fertility, we are also doing extremely well on many other parameters. To take some examples, in recent years, like we know, probably what we all know, Finland has been ranked as the happiest country in the world. And we are also doing very well on many indicators that try to measure gender equality and also working life balance. We are a stable and free country with a functioning healthcare system. And I would also argue that the balance between work and family life is relatively good in Finland. And during the current COVID-19 pandemic, we have so far fortunately been quite successful in limiting the human cost and also the economic cost of the disease. So this changing population structure and falling fertility rates are happening in a country that has many assets to build on. With so much attention given to children and families and social policy and the quality of life in Finland, one has to ask, what is going on? Why is fertility falling here? Why are not young people having babies anymore? What is the problem? Because of our low fertility rate, we have become somewhat of an outlier from the other Nordic countries. And this is quite something special. My question in this opening remarks is low fertility a problem? I will try to answer it. If low fertility is an outcome of people's own free willing choices and people's own values, then I would probably say it's not a problem. And if that were the case, if this outcome is a result of individual free choices, then there actually isn't so much that politics and policy can do about it. Surely this case would be a problem for age-related public finances and would be a problem for sustainable public finances. But in the long run, public finances have the tendency of, let's say, sorting themselves out one way or the other. The economy will find its equilibrium in the long run. Of course, social scientists and economists will have a lot to say about how to make this adjustment and what's the best way of making the adjustment. And they should have a lot to say about it. But it's still possible to make the adjustment. So if low fertility is just a result of people's values and people's own choices, then there is not much that can be done about it and not much that should be done about it. But on the other hand, if low fertility is a result of a dysfunctional society where people's own aspirations about family and children cannot be realized because of real or perceived obstacles, then I think we have a problem. If it's an issue of a dysfunctional society, then we can in principle try to correct it. For example, the Finnish parental leave system under this government is being reformed to facilitate a better and more equal balance between parents. Hopefully this will be one one positive signal for families who are thinking about having babies. My own preliminary view is that our low fertility rates in Finland have a lot to do with values and a lot to do with perceptions. And I think there are no quick fixes about what we can do if we would like to change the situation. For example, I don't think that this situation is just a simple question of raising benefits or creating other financial incentives. I don't think that's a silver bullet that can be applied here. This is a more deep-rooted issue, and I believe we need a broad spectrum of initiatives to tackle it. Some policies are needed to adjust to the demographic change, and some others are needed to create a more family-friendly society, more balance between working life and family life, and also to create a more family-friendly or child-friendly culture in order to raise the fertility rate. So we need two answers. First of all, to adjust to the demographic change, and then look for some rational, relevant things to do to make our society more family friendly. Although we Finns tend to be pragmatic and skeptic rather than upbeat, I believe that we still have some reason for optimism. Yes, we are rapidly aging, but we are also the world's first welfare state that this is happening to. Perhaps we can even show the way in this respect, since the demographic transition is happening everywhere at some point in time, and other countries are following suit. These kinds of societal disruptions in the history have been huge boosters for technological developments and social innovations. And maybe this will be the case this time as well. There are huge possibilities also linked to changing demographics and aging society. Well, dear folks, to analyze these recent changes and pave the way for long-term population policies, our current Prime Minister Sanna Marin has commissioned a demographic report. The report itself will be published next year, but as part of that process, we wished to arrange this open seminar to discuss the newest ideas and insights in this field on how to best conduct population policies in Europe. We firmly believe that modern population policy is not only about how many we are, but also about who we are and how we live and what are the skills that we are equipped with. This is a leading idea in today's seminar. How is demographic change related to economic success and population well-being? And how can we track and plan for these developments? Ladies and gentlemen, we have very distinguished speakers today. Professor Wolfgang Lutz is arguably the most influential demographer in the world. He is the program director for world population at IIASA, director of the Vienna Institute for Demography, and founding director of the Wittgenstein Center for Demography and Global Human Capital. Professor Lutz has actively developed new methods and indicators for measuring and understanding population development and well-being. For instance, his new way of measuring years of good life was recently published in the Finnish Yearbook of Demographic Research, based on Finnish historical data. His views on modern population policies have already inspired our own thinking on how to make the best of a challenging demographic situation. We also have two very high-profile commentators. Program Director Elena Rovenskaya from IIASA and Professor Axel Berchupan, the Director of the Survey of Health, Aging and Retirement in Europe, a survey in which also Finland has participated since 2016. Professor Väestöpolitiikka is known to myself and also many other Finnish economists from his previous visits here and consultation he has given about aging and economics of aging and pension systems, the pension system in Finland. I wish to already at this point thank the speakers and the organizers, especially IIASA and the strategic unit at the Prime Minister's office. I hope this event will help us shape modern and effective population policies in Finland and also more broadly in Europe.